Hello, my knitting friends. Today I wanted to do a quick product review, and it's not sponsored. I'm not that fancy yet, but it's a product review on interchangeable needles versus non-interchangeable needles. So I'm going to be reviewing the Knit Picks interchangeable nickel-plated set and also some non-interchangeable, I don't know what you would call those, standard needles, circular needles. These are chia goo needles, and I have not yet ordered an interchangeable set from chia goo, or is it chia goo? I've heard both, so anyways, I am just going to call them chia goo for now. So I'm going to give you just a quick review on the differences between the two needle sets. Yes, one of them is not interchangeable, but I've seen some reviews of the interchangeable set, and I'm just gonna compare these standard needles to the quality and the differences of the Knit Picks needles. So one thing that I did notice is that the chia goo interchangeables, they have a very nice packaging that comes with it, like a zippable package, whereas this is just plastic, which isn't terrible. It keeps them contained. It's got a button that snaps, so at least everything stays in its place. Sorry, that was shiny. But this only has US size 4 through US size 11, and I'm pretty sure that you can get the smaller sizes as well as the next sizes up. It comes with two different sizes of cables, and you can order different lengths as well. So this, I should know what it is off the top of my head, but I'm not sure. But it's not short enough for a hat. So it's something for like sweaters or blankets if you're going to be using it. So there's probably like a 16-inch, and then I would want to say like a 24-inch. Let's just go with that. Maybe it says on there. It does not say on the package. I should have done my homework before I started this video, but that's okay, right? Okay, so I ended up ordering, since it didn't come with a short cable, I ended up ordering from Amazon, and it came in a 2-pack, a cord set for what I thought would work for hats. So that's what I've got here. But what I didn't realize is the needles are long. They're longer than a standard circular set. So if you look at the needle length, the interchangeable needles are a lot longer, which makes it really, really challenging to knit a hat with this. It would be fine for like a cowl, or if you're doing something flat, or if you're doing a sweater or a blanket like I mentioned before, it would be fine, but it's definitely a little bit awkward with the hat. The needles are extremely long, and it can stretch your project out a little bit. So that's one of the downsides. I'm not sure if you can order a shorter needle set with the Knit Picks, but I'm pretty sure that Chia Goo has a shorty set that you can order, which is something that's really nice. While I am a very cautious buyer, I read a lot of product reviews before I purchase something, especially since this wasn't like a cheap item. The Chia Goo needles are more expensive, so I went with a cheaper product, and I think there's a few reasons why it's a cheaper product. But one thing that I saw on the Knit Picks website was a few people were complaining about their nickel plating flaking off. I have not had any issues with that. So if you're worried about that, I don't think you actually have anything to worry about. I've not had any issues with it, and I've been knitting with a bunch of the different needle sizes, and none of them have been flaking. I ordered this like 6 months ago, and I'm an avid knitter, and I've not had any issues yet. Another thing is that I was concerned about was the needles unscrewing. So what happens is this is a threaded end. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh. It's a threaded end, and then of course the needles just screw on. And they give you this little tool where you can tighten it. So there's a little hole that, it's essentially just a tiny needle that is threaded through that little hole, and then you tighten your needles right onto it. And I've not had any issues with my needles popping off or coming loose while I'm working with a project. So as long as you tighten them properly, you're gonna be good to go. Now, another thing that I would like to point out the difference between the Chiagu needles and the Knit Picks needles is how pointy and sharp they are. So the Chiagu needles are extremely, extremely pointy, which some people love because the smaller the project, it's easier to pick your yarn. And then, so here's the Chiagu on top and then the Knit Picks on the bottom. So I don't know if you can even tell a difference, but the Chiagu definitely feel sharper than the Knit Picks do. Some people don't like how sharp the Chiagu needles feel. I personally like it with a really small project, but it can also make some more calluses on your fingers. So if you're not crazy about the sharpness of the Chiagu needles, then maybe the Knit Picks needles are for you. See if they have a shorty set though, because I wish that these were shorter than they are. And then, of course, the Chiagu needles have a much sturdier cord or cable, and it's surgical steel, I'm pretty sure, whereas the ones that come with the Knit Picks are just plastic. So I think over time these could get really brittle, and they also, of course, hold the shape that they're stored in, which if you're working a circular project isn't the end of the world, but if you have them wrapped like super, super tight and they hold that shape, that could be a problem in the long run. I think if you put them in hot water, it might help loosen it up, but I haven't had to do that yet. So I do enjoy the stability and the flexibility and the no memory that the surgical steel has with the Chiagu needles. I do enjoy that a lot more than the plastic that comes with the Knit Picks. So that's one of the perks of the Chiagu needles. Like I said, I haven't purchased the interchangeables yet, but I think if I do, yeah, I think if I get another set, I'm gonna get the shorty of the Chiagu needles, but it's quite an investment. So it's gonna be something down the road if I end up doing that. And of course, the Chiagu needles are also steel instead of nickel plated. So it's just, they knit up a little bit differently, honestly. I feel like the surgical, or the steel has a little bit more grip on them than the nickel does, which I'm kind of shocked. So I think the nickel plating your project slides around a little bit easier than the steel does. So there are all sorts of perks for each one. And I've had a few people message me about the difference between needles, and they were asking which interchangeable needles I had. So I just wanted to give an honest review of what I think is great about the Knit Picks needles, as well as what I think would be better with the Chiagu interchangeable needles. Anyways, let me know in the comments below if you have an interchangeable set and if you like them or what you don't like about them. Yeah. Just tell me what you wish was different about your interchangeable needle set. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day.